Before beginning, it's important for you to make sure each of your students has his or her own Gmail account. And there are two options for setting up class folders and organizing them in your Google Drive. The first option is where the teacher creates individual student folders and shares them with the student. The second option is to have the students to create their folder and share it with the teacher. This tutorial would focus on the first option, where the teacher sets up the students' folders. This might be a little bit more time consuming, but if the students do not have a lot of experience with Google Drive, it's likely that it will save time and frustration for everyone. After signing into your Google account, locate the squares in the upper right-hand corner. Clicking on it will open Google options from which you can select. You want to choose Google Drive. And now that I am in Google Drive, I can see a drop-down arrow because I have several folders that I've already created. Okay, when you click on that arrow, it opens up your folders that you've created. If I want to create a new folder for the year that I want to hold all of my classes, I will click on New, and then I will scroll to Select Folders. I'm going to give my folder a specific title that will help me locate my students' work easily. So I'm going to choose the year 2016 through 2017. And this is the year would come first, and then the subject ELA, since that's the subject I teach. Then you hit Create. This folder will organize my classes by grade and sections. Notice how if I click on 2016 through 2017, notice how I'm inside the empty folder, but I can tell my location by looking across the top horizontal navigation. So we've got my drive is where I am, and then now I'm inside of the student 2016-2017 ELA folder. Because I teach 2 ELA block classes, I will create 2 separate folders for organizing my students from each class. So what I will do is I will see this drop-down arrow. Okay, I will click on that, and I'm going to select a new folder, and this will create a folder within a folder. Okay. I will now name one of them 5A, and this is to represent the grade and then the section. So 5th grade, and this is section A. And this will help me to identify and distinguish between my classes. So I'm going to hit Create. Now notice this is within my ELA folder, 5th grade. Now I'm 5th grade section A. After that, I will create one more folder and name it 5B. Grade 5, section B. And now I have my folders ready for individual student folders. I will make sure I'm inside of the folder in which the students' folders will be organized. Remember to use the horizontal navigational bar. So if I click on 5A, okay, you see how that grows at the top? I'm in my drive within my students' folders, but this is my specific class, grade 5, section A, and it's empty. Looking at a class list, I will begin to add the students by clicking on New Folder. So if I do this, click on this drop-down arrow, and I want a new folder. Now for a title, I would recommend using the student's last name first because the folders will be alphabetized and it'll be easier to locate the student within a class. So I'm going to type Pruitt Kim, and I'm going to create it. All right, and this is the name of my first student within 5A. And now that I have the student in the correct class in which they belong, I will share this folder with the student. The folder icon doesn't have a shadow person within it to indicate that it's shared. So I will click on the horizontal navigational bar across the top. So we've got, actually I'm going to click on the folder. And I'm in my drive. This is my students for the year. This is a specific class, and this is my student here. So I'm going to continue to use my navigational bar across the top. This arrow will give me options for sharing this folder with this student. So I'll scroll down to the option Share, and I will type in the student's email address. And this gives, right here indicates that the student can edit. You can also give a view, but that person who you're sharing it with can only view it and cannot have edit the content within it. And this will send the folder to the student, and he or she will receive notification within their email account. If I am the student receiving the shared folder from my teacher, I would be looking in my Shared With Me section, and then you would see the name of the student here. It says Kim Pruitt, and this little person that shows up inside of the folder indicates that it's been shared. And what I would do is I'd click on the folder and I would drag it to my drive. Just hover over the word My Drive and drop it, and it will organize itself among the other folders that are already there. Moving this from the shared section to the drive will give the student easy, quick access to work within the folder. Now, after you've created the first student folder within a class section, so I'm going to click here, I'm going to go to 5A, and there's my first student. I am going to repeat the same process, giving each student shared rights to his or her individual folder. So I'd go back to my 5A folder like I just did, double click to open it, and then I would select new folder. So I'm inside of 5A. I'm not inside of my students folder. I'm inside of 5A folder, and I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, and I'm going to continue the same process. I'm going to put another person's name. Okay, and now I have a second student's name. Now the folders will automatically alphabetize, and you can continue down your class list until you have all of your students inside of your class folder. There are two options in which you can view your folders. And you look over here, you've got the list view, and then you've got the grid view. This is your list view. Notice how here you can see that this student has a shared folder and this student does not. That would indicate to you that you would need to share that folder so that student would have access. And you can go back to your grid view. So this is your list view and this is your grid view, whichever you prefer. Now the grid view, whatever content is inside these folders, the grid view it will give you images, and then the list will give you the words of the document. I have a student tutorial in which your students can use for setting up their own folders and sharing it with you, which is a much faster process, but I hope you find success in your digital journey today.